Fires continue to scorch thousands of acres in northern Nevada, where fire officials in Reno are headed now to help with the containment efforts.
And in less than 24 hours, President Trump will meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin. How Trump says this meeting will determine if the leaders are friends or enemies.
Thunderstorms are making their way out of northern Nevada tonight, but now we have a heat advisory looming when that goes into effect and how warm temperatures are going to get this week. News 4 at 11 starts right now.
This is News 4 at 11 on your side.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. I'm Melissa Matheny.
And I'm Ben Marjat.
Topping our show at 11, multiple agencies are battling a brush fire out at Pyramid Lake tonight. According to Don Pelt, a spokesperson with the Pyramid Lake Paiute tribe, this is at Warrior Point. The fire is currently a quarter acre. BLM and Pyramid Fire officials are working to get the fire under control right now. No campsites or RVs are being threatened at this time. The cause of the fire is under investigation.
The Hogue Fire burning northwest of Rancho San Rafael Park is now 100% contained. That's according to the Humboldt-Toyabe National Forest. The fire was sparked by lightning last night and burned 192 acres. Firefighters at the local, state, and federal level worked to get a line around the fire today. No homes or other structures were burned in the blaze.
Another fire on the southeast side of Peavine Mountain is now 70% contained. The Kiowa fire has charred 120 acres. The fire was also sparked by lightning and is burning about a mile north of the Hogue fire. There are no reports of damage to any homes or structures, though.
Firefighters from the Reno Fire Department are headed to Elko to help fight a huge blaze there. According to the Bureau of Land Management, the Silver State Fire has burned nearly 3,800 acres 4 miles east of Elko off Last Chance Road. The fire is only 10% contained tonight. It broke out yesterday evening just before 9 o'clock. The cause of the fire is under investigation.
And as these fires continue to burn, thunderstorms are making their way east across the state tonight. Most of the thunderstorm activity is south of Interstate 80. We are still seeing some lightning strikes near Austin and Gabbs, but really near Tonopah is where we're seeing the bulk of the activity tonight. You can see where dozens of lightning strikes are happening in and around Tonopah. If you're traveling on Highway 95 tonight, it certainly is going to be an interesting drive because of all of the thunder and lightning. And the big question is, when are these thunderstorms really going to fully make their way out of the region? I'm going to be talking about that more coming up in my full forecast here in about 10 minutes.
One man is dead after a motorcycle crash on USA Parkway this afternoon. The crash initially closed one of the southbound lanes, which has since reopened. It happened near mile marker 5 in Lyon County. According to the Nevada Highway Patrol, no other vehicles were involved in this crash. At this time, we do not know the cause. And there is a road closure that could impact your daily commute. Starting tomorrow, RTC will be temporarily closing the 4th and Sutro Street intersection for a paving project. 4th Street from Quincy to Montello Street will also be closed for paving. These intersections will be closed from tomorrow until July 28th, and detours will be put in place in the area. RTC urging pedestrians and bicyclists to be cautious in the construction zones. A Reno man accused of child abuse linked to his daughter's death is expected to appear in court tomorrow morning. Tyler Anderson is set to be arraigned at 9 a.m. in front of a Reno judge after he was brought back to Nevada from Sacramento. Tyler and his wife Avriana Anderson are both accused of child neglect that police say led to the death of their 5-year-old girl. Police found her body in a Sacramento storage unit back in May. We will continue to follow this story and let you know about the arraignment tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Local law enforcement agencies or officers are cracking down on street racing. Reno and Sparks police, as well as Washoe County deputies, conducted a sting this weekend. This all comes after people from the community and law enforcement raised concerns about street racing. Officers gave out 64 citations and arrested 11 people during the sting. The charges varied. Some people were arrested for outstanding warrants, others for drug possession, DUI, and felony eluding.
March for Our Lives held a town hall meeting in Utah Saturday, 5 months after the deadly mass shooting in Parkland, Florida. Between 700 and 800 people attended this event. Organizers from March for Our Lives Salt Lake City and the Road to Change tour were present, including some survivors from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. People on both sides of the gun control debate took part in a panel discussion and question and answer session.
At the end of the day, this is not a Democrat or Republican issue. If either party could have solved it, they would have, but they haven't. And the reason is because they aren't able to work together as what they are, Americans.
Some talked about legislative changes they'd like to see, including universal background checks and longer waiting periods for buying guns.
British journalist Piers Morgan interviewed President Trump this weekend aboard Air Force One. On his upcoming meeting with Vladimir Putin in Finland, President Trump was guarded, saying it's too early to say whether they are friends or enemies.
I think we could probably get along very well. Somebody said, "Are you friends or enemies?" I said, well, it's too early to say, but right now I'd say we're competitors. But for Russia and the United States and frankly the UK and other places to get along with Russia and China and all of these other places.
Before leaving for a weekend in Scotland, the president breached British protocol by publicly disclosing the details of a conversation he had with Queen Elizabeth. The president told Morgan they discussed the complexities of Brexit when they met for tea at Windsor Castle on Friday.
President Donald Trump is setting expectations low for his high-stakes summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin. The president arrived today in Finland for tomorrow's meeting. NBC's Jay Gray is in Helsinki with the very latest.
President Trump on the ground in Helsinki now, ahead of his meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin, and telling CBS News.
I don't expect anything. I frankly don't expect. I go in with very low expectations.
As expected, protesters gathering in Finland's capital ahead of the summit.
I'm still worried about the situation in the world, and I would like to have better human rights for everyone.
The meeting comes 3 days after 12 Russian intelligence agents were indicted by special counsel Robert Mueller on charges including hacking, aggravated identity theft, and money laundering as part of an effort to disrupt the 2016 U.S. presidential election. The president asked by CBS News if he planned to push his Russian counterpart to extradite the accused agents to face charges in the U.S.
I hadn't thought of that, but I'll be asking about it. But again, this was during the Obama administration.
Analysts say the ongoing election threat should be the president's main priority here.
The president has to take steps to protect the United States as it carries out its most important duty, the functioning of democracy.
Others, though, worry about the format of the meeting.
We don't even have a note taker accompanying Trump and Putin. We only have translators. And so it comes down to a question of who said what.
Complicated, controversial, and now just hours away. Jay Gray, NBC News, Helsinki.
Paris celebrated well into the night tonight following France's World Cup win. Take a listen. That is quite a crowd there, quite a celebration. The City of Lights was lit up in blue, white, and red, celebrating the 4-2 victory over Croatia. Light shows took place at its most iconic monuments. The faces of the winning team were projected on the facade of the Arc de Triomphe. The slogan, "Proud to be Blue," was written in big letters at the top of the monument. This is France's second World Cup win and its first in 20 years.
More sports in just a few minutes. Who took home the trophy at this year's American Century Championship? We'll have a full report on the golf and the shenanigans from Edgewood Golf Course.
And thunderstorms are making their way out of the region tonight, but we do have a heat advisory on the horizon. When that's in effect, just how hot temperatures are going to get this week, that's coming up in about 3 minutes.
A Chicago-based musical group called Sidewalk Chalk performed tonight as part of Art Town's Midtown Concert Series. This group blends together elements of jazz, funk, hip-hop, and R&B for an original sound. You can catch the next Midtown concert series on July 22nd. And for more information on our town events, you can visit our website, mynews4.com.
Kids can swim for free on certain days over the next 2 weeks at city pools in Reno and Sparks. The free swim is for hour-and-a-half sessions on select dates. The first free swim is tomorrow at Deer Park Pool. This is on Prater Way in Sparks. Passes will be handed out to kids in line for each time and session on a first-come, first-served basis. And if you can't make tomorrow's free swim, you can find a list of other dates and times at our website. That's mynews4.com. And the weather is certainly going to be warming up quite a bit. It'll make for, hello there, Ben.
Hey
there we
News
go.
4 is your weather authority. We'll send things over to Melissa Matheny. Melissa, take it away.
Sorry about that. I cut you off there a little bit, but it is going to be good weather to head out to the pool, maybe head out to the lake this week because it is certainly going to be very hot. So we do still have some thunderstorm activity. Really, those thunderstorms are making their way east across the state right now, for the most part south of Interstate 80. We are still seeing some lightning strikes though near Austin, but really the bulk of the activity is in Tonopah. You can see there are dozens of lightning strikes out there in Tonopah tonight. So if you are traveling on Highway 95, that's certainly something to keep in mind, as there is a lot of activity out there in terms of the weather. But as the night progresses, we are going to see those thunderstorms make their way fully out of the region. We should start out the week with blue skies. But what we are seeing out there right now is haze is continuing to stick around. And with that haze, we do have moderate air quality out there right now. But hopefully that haze will kind of blow out of the region this evening, and we won't be dealing with that tomorrow. That haze, of course, because of those 4 fires that were sparked by lightning last night. Our current temperature in Reno right now is 79 degrees. We do have a north wind at about 14 miles an hour. Here's a look at temperatures all around the region, kind of in the mid 80s, the upper 70s, dipping down to 59 degrees in South Lake Tahoe tonight. So it is a little bit chilly up there. Overnight, our low in Reno is 68 degrees. That widespread haze still kind of lingering around, hopefully making its way out of the region. Those winds will certainly help. We do have winds between 5 and 10 miles an hour, gusts up to 20 miles per hour. Tomorrow, temperatures are going to warm up to 100 degrees. It really is going to be a very hot week. It will be sunny with some calm winds, roughly about 5 to 10 miles per hour tomorrow. But that is really the start of things warming up quite a bit. So we do have a heat advisory in place for all of the areas shaded in orange there. That heat advisory going into place noon on Tuesday. It will wrap up 9 o'clock on Thursday night. If you are sensitive to the heat, you're going to want to drink plenty of water and maybe stay indoors. Here's why. Take a look at this 7-day forecast. Temperatures warming up to 103 degrees in Reno on Tuesday and Wednesday. Things are going to cool down towards the end of the week, but that's when a new round of thunderstorms could be making their way into the region. Carson City, really that same trend, hot and dry in the beginning of the week, and then thunderstorms towards the end of the week. Carson City as well, starting out the work week, or South Lake Tahoe rather, at 88 degrees, warming up, and then moisture coming in at the end of the week. But make sure that you stay vigilant this week with that heat advisory and those very hot temperatures. Let's go ahead and send it over to sports.
An incredible week at the American Century Championship comes to a close at Edgewood Golf Course, and for the first time in 4 years, we have a new champion. Former Dallas Cowboys quarterback Tony Romo is able to knock off Mark Mulder and Joe Pavelski to take home the title. Hey everybody, Alex Margulies here on the 18th green, and for Romo, it was a 26-point Sunday with 5 birdies. We had a chance to catch up with him about taking home his first title. What was the pressure like coming down 16 in the party hole on 17 and then having to fend off Joe Pavelski and Mark Mulder here on 18?
Well, they're great players. You could tell they really didn't give an inch. You had to go win the tournament. No one was going to give it to you, and there's a reason why Mark's won 3 of these in a row. I mean, you know, if you play even average today, you got no chance. And I think I ended up shooting, 68, and, you know, I don't think 69 gets it done. So, you know, I had to play that way, and it was good that my game stood up under the pressure, and, you know, congratulate them because that was tough.
So many great storylines at this golf tournament this week, and one of them, of course, Steph Curry, the NBA champion, back here again, drawing massive crowds everywhere he went. And again, he had a bet with his dad, Del Curry, except this time he would come up on the short end. And Curry reminded people of why he is truly a splash brother. What was the bet in the end, Steph?
Oh, that's about my pop's 20 points, and he won by 20. What did he win by 22? Right?
Yeah, he won by 18.
Or he won by 18. I'm sorry, I had to beat him by 20 points. It's pretty cold, but I guess in all things it's kind of refreshing. Yeah, I might as well get in Lake Tahoe if I come up this far. So I just didn't like the way it ended. So gotta get my game right for next year.
I know, Steph, a little cold there, but I'm telling you, there is no better way to cap off this tournament than jumping in Lake Tahoe. For the rest of the athletes and the celebrities, it was an incredible week here at Edgewood Tahoe, and they reflected on that earlier today.
Man, it's awesome. Coming into this, a lot of my buddies were like, playing in front of crowds, how's it going to be? Going to be nervous? I was like, man, it's awesome. Like, I'm not competing for the championship, so just for anybody to care about a golf shot for me is cool. And I had some pretty good shots, and it was a great experience. And you're in such great company. It's a good time, man. If you're not having fun here, then your priorities are messed up.
What was it like interacting with the fans?
You know what? They came out in full force. It seemed very thick yesterday. Having a lot of fun. Another good crowd today. They're super polite and cheering everybody on, and everybody's a big fan of everybody. So. Really enjoyed my experience.
The fans here in Tahoe, they have been, I think, the stars of the show. So it's been a great 3 days. So looking forward to next year.
How fun is that for you two to be able to interact, sign some autographs, and get a mix with the local crowd?
It's pretty cool. It is. You get a chance to interact and spend some time with fans from all over the country, and not just Steeler fans or Green Bay fans. You got fans from all over the place. So it's a melting pot, but it's a great time.
An incredible week here at the American Century Championship, and if you miss any of the action, you can check out our 19th hole celebrity golf wrap-up show on our website, sports page at mynews4.com. Reporting here on the 18th green at Edgewood, I'm Alex Margulies.
Looked like a fun weekend out there. Well, a new exhibition at the Library of Congress, Baseball Americana, traces baseball through the ages and through the lens of American history. KRNV takes a look.
The last time Washington hosted an MLB All-Star game was 1969, and the rosters included future Hall of Famers Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, and Ernie Banks. Now those names are part of an exhibition at the Library of Congress that looks at baseball's endurance and evolution, narratives that now span decades.
The story that we selected was baseball as community, as an equalizer, as something that brings people together. And then it was easy to say, what are the stories we want to tell?
Dozens of baseball artifacts, photos, and game footage create the experience. Some items are from the Library of Congress collection, others on loan from the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown, New York, like Babe Ruth's leather cleats. Baseball's so-called Magna Carta is also on display, a handwritten Laws of Baseball that laid out rules in 1857, like 9-inning games and 90 feet between bases, that still define the game today. An interactive wall looks at some of the record-setting stats that players still chase today. But Librarian of Congress Carla Hayden said it was important to look beyond the play on the field to how the game has reflected life off of the field.
Of course, when you think about diversity and baseball bringing people together, you think about Jackie Robinson being the first African-American player.
The Library of Congress collection holds Jackie Robinson's papers and the papers of Branch Rickey, the baseball executive who helped him break that barrier with the then Brooklyn Dodgers in 1947. Also part of the exhibition, women in the game, including a uniform from the Rockford Peaches, the team made famous in the film A League of Their Own. Hayden, a baseball fan herself, hopes the sights and sounds of the space spark memories and conversations across generations.
It's going to take you right back to when you were at the ballpark or you were at home and listening to a game on the radio. And that's what we hope that people will feel.
No matter how long ago or not so long ago those memories may be. In Washington, I'm KRNV.
Still ahead, after a tragedy, one dog is defying all odds and is hoping to find his new forever home. Oh, how cute. That story when we come back.